Okay, real talk. You've tried to budget before, maybe more than once. You downloaded the app, made the spreadsheet, told yourself this time is different, and then, like clockwork, 3 weeks later, gone. The whole thing just collapsed. And here's the part that messes with people's heads. You're not bad with money. You're not lazy. You're not irresponsible. You were set up to fail from the beginning because budgeting, the way we've been taught to do it, is literally designed to trigger one of the most powerful psychological responses in the human brain. A response that makes it almost physically impossible to keep going. You were set up to fail from the beginning because budgeting, the way we've been taught to do it, is literally designed to trigger one of the most powerful psychological responses in the human brain. A response that makes it almost physically impossible to keep going. And nobody talks about this. Financial gurus don't mention it. Your bank definitely won't tell you. But once you see it, once you understand what's actually happening inside your brain when you look at a budget, you will never feel guilty about this again. So let's get into it. Here's a question nobody asks. Why does something as simple as tracking money feel so awful? Like, it's just numbers. It's math. You're not running a marathon. You're not doing surgery. You're looking at a spreadsheet. And yet somehow, for millions of people, budgeting feels more stressful than their actual job. 40% of Americans say they feel financial anxiety just from thinking about their budget. Not from spending, not from debt, just from thinking. That's not a money problem. That is a brain problem. And here's where it gets wild. The reason budgeting feels so painful isn't because you're doing it wrong. It's because your brain is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Let me show you what I mean. There's a concept in psychology called ego depletion. The idea is simple. Willpower isn't unlimited. It's more like a battery. And every time you make a decision, every time you resist something, every time you say no to yourself, that battery drains a little. Now think about what budgeting actually asks you to do. Every single day. Every coffee. Every lunch. Every time you open your phone and see something you want. Every time a friend says, come out tonight. Your budget is constantly asking your brain to make a decision, run a calculation, and override an impulse. That's not discipline. That's exhaustion. By Wednesday of week 1, your brain is running on fumes, and your brain, being the incredibly efficient survival machine it is, starts looking for shortcuts. And the easiest shortcut? Just stop. This is why most budgets die on a Tuesday. Not a dramatic failure, just a quiet surrender. But willpower is only part of the story. Here's the part that hits even deeper. When you make a budget, something interesting happens psychologically. You're not just making a financial plan. You're making a statement about who you are. I'm someone who saves money. I'm someone who doesn't waste. I'm responsible now. Sounds great, right? Here's the problem. The moment you break the budget, and you will even once, your brain doesn't just register a financial mistake. It registers an identity threat. Psychologists call this cognitive dissonance, the discomfort you feel when your actions don't match your self-image. And your brain hates that feeling. It will do almost anything to resolve it. So what does it do? It rewrites the story. The budget was too strict. I'll start fresh next month. I was stressed. I deserved it. And just like that, the budget is gone, and your self-image is protected. You didn't quit because you're weak. You quit because your brain was protecting you from feeling like a failure. That's not an excuse. That's neuroscience. Okay, this one is going to feel a little uncomfortable because it's about the way most budgets are designed. Traditional budgeting is essentially a system of restrictions. Here's what you can't spend on coffee. Here's the cap on eating out. Here's how little you're allowed to enjoy your money. And what does your brain hear when it's told it can't have something? It wants it more. This is called psychological reactance, and it's one of the most well-documented phenomena in behavioral psychology. The moment you label something as forbidden, your brain assigns it higher value. It becomes more desirable, not less. Have you ever gone on a diet and thought about food constantly? Yeah. Same thing. The budget that says no fun spending creates a brain that is obsessed with fun spending. And then you binge. Then you feel guilty. Then you quit. It's not a discipline problem, it's a design problem.